Greetings, advanced earth science students. I figured some of you would want some help with this electrolysis lab, so that's what I'm going to try to do with this video. These water lab or hydrolysis of water lab process questions, specifically these ones down here where you consider the following scenario that might be giving some of you a little bit of confusion. So the scenario is a student performed the same experiment we did using inert, maybe platinum electrodes, and produced 5 milliliters of oxygen gas at the positive electrode. And some information given, the molar volume of gas at RTP, that's room temperature and pressure, is 24.0 liters. It says calculate these following 1 through 9, showing your math reasoning. Says you'll have to do a little research and use Avogadro's number. Well, hopefully you've done that research, but I'm going to try to talk you through that a little bit. All right, so before we can start on these calculations, we've got to look here. Let me get these papers sorted out. We've got to summarize the research that you should have done and what molar volume is. All right, so what molar volume means is that 1 mole of gas at room temperature and pressure, that's about 1 atmosphere and about 20 degrees Celsius, will occupy a volume of about 24.0 liters. That's about the size of a standard beach ball. I'll try to explain what mole is in a minute. Avogadro's number that you should have come across is constant. Sometimes it's called Avogadro's number, sometimes Avogadro's constant, is this large number 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. It might look like this on your calculator. A mole is simply Avogadro's number of something. So this many particles of substance will be a mole of that substance. For instance, a mole of oxygen gas is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of oxygen gas. Oxygen gas that you made is O2. Or if we look at carbon from the periodic table, carbon in the periodic table says it has an atomic mass of 12.0. That means 1 mole, or Avogadro's number of carbon atoms, has a mass of 12.0 grams. Or the same thing looking at oxygen from the periodic table, which oxygen's atomic mass is 16.0. So 1 mole of oxygen atoms has a mass of 16.0 grams. So a mole is simply Avogadro's number of something, usually of an atom or a molecule. All right, so moving on to the problems you were given to work out. Number 1 said how many moles of oxygen gas was produced. Well, if they had 5 milliliters, that means we had 0.05 liters. You need to convert it to liters because you were given molar volume in liters. So 0.05 liters times 1 mole in 24.0 liters, that's the molar volume, gives you this many moles of oxygen, 0.002083 repeating. Because you need to remember that oxygen gas is 2 oxygen atoms bonded together into 1 oxygen molecule. Question number 2, the number of molecules produced. There's where you take the number of moles from number 1 times Avogadro's number, which gives you the number of molecules per mole. And when you calculate that out, you get 1.255 times 10 to the 20th molecules of oxygen gas in those 5 milliliters, which is about the volume that several of you made when you did the lab. Number 3, the number of atoms. Well, since there's 2 atoms in each of oxygen in each molecule of oxygen, you take the number of molecules times 2, gives you 2.51 times 10 to the 20th oxygen atoms. Number 4 asks you for the mass. Well, using our periodic table, we can figure out that the molecular mass of oxygen gas, O2, is 32.0 grams in 1 mole of oxygen gas. 1 oxygen atom has an atomic mass of 16, so 2 of them are going to have atomic mass of 32.0. Or 1 mole will have 32.0 grams. So then you take the number of moles of O2 that you had that you calculated above in number 1 times that 32 grams in 1 mole, and you'll get this many grams. Question asked you'd express it in milligrams, so you need to multiply it by 1,000, and you get 6.67 milligrams of O2.